At IHS James Defence Weekly, we regularly conduct country briefings of major nations that have kind of strategic or political military interest. We recently did a country briefing on South Korea, and one of the biggest takeaways from that was its development of what it calls a kill chain. Now, the kill chain is a series of major developments in its ballistic missile defences, its local area defence, and also in its offensive ballistic missile and cruise missile programs. So the kill chain really centres around the Hyunmoo cruise and ballistic missile range. We've got the Hyunmoo 2B, which is a ballistic missile which has a range of up to 500 kilometres. We've also got the Hyunmoo 3, which is a cruise missile which has a range reportedly out to 1,500 kilometres. Both of these missiles really give South Korea an independent and indigenous missile capability which they want to use to kind of neutralise North Korea's ballistic missiles before they can be launched. It's quite a big development because it gives them independence from the US and US Forces Korea, which traditionally have had operational control of what goes on in a provocation or a kind of contingency involving North and South Korea. So certainly this development, which we really looked into in our briefing, is something new. It's something slightly different. Some people might see it as slightly dangerous because South Korea traditionally hasn't had this level of capability and had also the operational ability to launch without US oversight. So when we were looking at South Korea, beyond its kind of military capabilities, we of course looked at the kind of situation it finds itself in. And one of the key challenges facing South Korea's military at the moment is a demographic challenge. Its demographics are stagnating. It's got one of the lowest birth rates in the world, and that seems set to continue. It's even lower than Japan, which is, the perennial poster child of kind of low birth rates and declining populations. So big issue for South Korea, and it's a big issue because of course South Korea's military is based on conscription. So if you don't have babies being born, then you don't have soldiers entering the ranks. And one of the things we've also noted about South Korea, and it's been a big trend over the last few years, is its development as a major defence industrial nation. It's jumped, from I think 29th in the world to 11th as one of the major exporters. Now, one of the reasons, of course, is it has a major indigenous need for new and good quality military equipment, but of course it also needs to look for outdoor or external markets for that. Some of the platforms that we've seen are the K2 main battle tank, which is very successful. It's coming into service quite soon, has a lot of technical improvements over the K1. We also saw, when we were in South Korea in October 2013, we saw the KFX, which is their new indigenous fighter program. They're working on that with Indonesia. Now, the KFX is, at the moment, it's in prototype stage, but if they can build it and if they can design it at cost, it will certainly come in as probably a mid-level cost fighter that could fill a gap in inventories below maybe the F-35 or other kind of fifth generation fighters that most air forces around the world are looking to field at the moment. So as well as the indigenous defence industry, South Korea is still a major customer for US kit and kit from overseas. One of the most interesting developments in that field is their purchase of 4 Global Hawks, which is the Northrop Grumman high altitude long endurance UAV. That will help South Korea in its reconnaissance surveillance of North Korea, and it's a major part of the kill chain which we talked about earlier.